oversized leather gloves when Showtime Championship Boxing presents what just might be the upset of the decade. Thief of Hearts follows, a Showtime exclusive. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Knockout night. It's Thomas Hitman Hearns versus Iran the Blade Barkley in the main event. The legendary Thomas Hearns became the first fighter to win a world title in 4 separate weight classes this past October when he KO'd Juan Roldan here in Las Vegas. Hearns displayed his devastating punching power almost immediately, decking Roldan twice in the first round. The assault continued in the second. The third round was furious, and Hearns finished Roldan with a thunderous right in the fourth, winning the WBC middleweight championship. His opponent, Iran Barkley, knows only one way to fight, a brawling, physical style that has brought havoc to most men in his path. Tonight, Barkley hopes to take the title away and predicts a knockout over a man he once idolized. Stand by for Knockout Night in Las Vegas. And here is the challenger, Iran the Blade Barkley, getting ready for the fight of his life. His second shot at a title. And Thomas the Hitman Hearns as he heads in. Hearns making the first defense of his middleweight championship. Tonight, Showtime Championship Boxing presents the WBC Middleweight Championship. Thomas Hearns versus Iran Barkley. Hello, everybody. Steve Albert along with Gil Clancy and Al Bernstein, and welcome to Knockout Night here at the Las Vegas Hilton. We've got a tremendous card planned for you, and the slogan is Knockout Night. What do you think in the main event, the WBC Middleweight Championship, Thomas Hearns and Iran Barkley? Will it go via a knockout round?
Well, I think that would be a tough fight to go the distance. You know, Iran Barkley busts up, has a history of busting up. And Tommy Hearns is a great fighter, snappy punches, fast hands, but what he does, he drops his hands and waits for the receipt. And it's a big weakness that he has, and maybe Iran Barkley will catch him.
Al, do you think that if Hearns doesn't knock out Barkley early, the edge could swing to Barkley because of his brawling style?
Well, that is the conventional thinking, and except for the cutting that Gil mentioned, you would think, because in his last fight when he fought Juan Roldan, Tommy Hearns' legs looked like they were a little rubbery in the 5th, 6th round, and Roldan had hurt him. I would think that if Barkley can take this into the later rounds, it might benefit him if the cuts don't become a factor.
All right, so a tremendous card is upcoming, and here for more is boxing columnist Wally Matthews.
Thanks, guys. You know, to look at the records, tonight's main event can easily be viewed as a mismatch. On the one hand, you've got Thomas Hearns, a 4-time world champion and one of the most dominant fighters of our era. And on the other hand, you've got Iran Barkley, who's only the most dominant fighter ever to appear at the Felt Forum, where he's fought most of his fights. But sometimes a fight comes down to a test not so much of skill, but of will. And if Hearns Barkley comes down to a test of wills, then Iran Barkley has a real good chance to win this fight. Despite all his defensive liabilities and his tendency to cut, Barkley has one of the strongest wills to win of any fighter in the ring today. And in spite of Hearns' boxing brilliance, will to win has never been his strongest asset. Barkley may have an added incentive tonight in that he's dedicated the fight to the memory of his close friend, Davey Moore, who was killed in an auto accident on Friday. Now, these intangibles may not be enough to raise the level of Barkley's game to where he can beat a Thomas Hearns. He may very well get knocked out with the first right hand he gets hit with. But I believe that if we hear the bell for round 5, the kid from the South Bronx, Iran Barkley, will bring back the scalp of Thomas Hearns to Fort Apache. Check with me later. Now back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Wally. Tonight's main event upcoming, the WBC Middleweight Championship. Thomas Hearns versus Iran Barkley. The fighters are in their final stages of preparation. And yesterday, Wally had a chance to speak with both Thomas Hearns and Iran Barkley.
Now, you've seen a lot of Tommy Hearns' fights. I know you were particularly interested in the Roldan fight. Will you attack Hearns the same way Roldan did and the way Marvin Hagler did?
Well, Roldan, like I said, he was a fat little guy, and he couldn't put 2 punches together, so he got knocked out, which he should have did, you know. Hagler did what Hagler was supposed to do, protect his title by fighting you know, and Iran is going to do what Iran want to do. He's going to fight him, bite him if he have to. He's going to get him.
Meanwhile, the champion, Thomas Hearns, was equally confident.
Iran Barkley, I think that he has good abilities, but he get hit a lot. And if I'm able to get in there and hit him as often as I've seen him being hit, then I don't think that it's going to go no more than 3 or 4 rounds.
That's tonight's main event, Thomas Hearns versus Iran Barkley. But let's go back. Earlier tonight, we saw another world championship fight, Roger Mayweather versus... Well, this fight went the distance. Many of the experts do not predict the same for the main event. Thomas Hearns versus Iran Barkley coming up for the WBC middleweight championship. A host of celebrities in attendance, adding to the glitter and glamour of this event. Many recognizable faces and one very much out of character, hiding behind a new beard and a full head of hair. And as always, some interested spectators on hand. Wally Matthews is side by side with 2 of them.
I'm here with IBF middleweight champion Frank Tate and his #1 contender Michael Nunn. These 2 gentlemen have a date here in Las Vegas on July 28th. But first of all, I'd like to ask both of them who they think is going to win tonight's main event between Thomas Hearns and Iran Barkley. Frank, who's going to be the winner tonight?
Well, I feel that Tommy had to come out and in the first round and apply a lot of boxing pressure to Iran, and don't let Iran apply pressure to him because he came a half a pound overweight. I think that's going to build the challenge of confidence up going into the fight. So I feel Tommy will have to stick with his game plan and don't get out there and try to slug fest, because we all know he's not a great slugger, but we know he's a great puncher. So if he catch Iran early, the fight will be over.
So you're picking Hearns to win it?
I'm picking Hearns to win.
Michael, what about you?
I think Tommy Hearns will be victorious in his middleweight title defense against Iran Barkley tonight. I think he should knock him out inside 3 or 4 rounds.
Okay, let's get to a subject that I'm sure is more interesting to both of you. Who's going to win on July 28th, Frank, and why?
Well, I think Mike gonna have to come and prove to me that he wants the IBF middleweight championship, and I don't think Mike can do that. You know, me and Mike fought 3 times in the amateur. You know, I have it 2-1, but this is the one really count. You know, he's fighting for something that I have, so Mike gonna have to bring it to me.
Mike, your turn.
It's not gonna be no problem. I figure Frank Tate's gonna get his first fight July 28th. Michael Nunn will be the IBF middleweight champion. I figure I'm the uncrowned champion now, but it will be official on the 28th of July.
Okay, Hearns Barkley tonight, Tate Nunn July 28th.
Thank you, Wally. And fighting earlier tonight, a man who... And we are closing in on the main event, the battle for the WBC middleweight championship featuring Thomas Hitman Hearns and Iran the Blade Barkley. Is it safe to say, Gil, that the early rounds will be most crucial as we see Barkley make his way in?
Well, I think that Manny Stewart is playing a trick on Iran Barkley. He said that Hearns is going to knock him out in 2 rounds. Watching him in the gym, he had Tommy Hearns boxing and moving. I don't think the early rounds are going to be crucial.
Iran Barkley wants to bring the title back to New York. 28-year-old Barkley of the Bronx coming off the impressive 5th round KO of Michael Elijah. Tonight, Barkley's 2nd title shot. In October of '87, he lost a 15-round decision to Sumbu Kalambe for the WBA middleweight title. And you got to wonder what might be going through his mind right now as he gets ready to fight a legend. When Barkley was an amateur, he had pictures of Hearns, Hagler, and Leonard pinned to the walls of his room. Now he is actually going to fight one of those men. Here comes the hitman, Thomas Hearns, who has done what no other fighter has done. Hearns made boxing history when he KO'd Juan Roldan last October to become the first man to win world titles in 4 separate weight divisions. Tonight, the 29-year-old hitman looks to defend the WBC middleweight crown for the first time. And to the strains of Rocky, here comes Hearns. The crowd getting revved up. Thomas Hearns wants to win tonight and then unify the middleweight title. He has never unified the title. Of course, he would like another shot at Leonard and Hagler, the only 2 men to beat him, but that seems almost remote. But the ghosts of Sugar Ray and Marvelous Marvin continue to linger. But first things first, Iran Barkley. To the keys to winning, Al Bernstein.
And what about how Tommy Hearns can win this fight? Not too much of a mystery. He is the most dangerous fighter in boxing, possibly except for Mike Tyson, in the first 3 rounds of a fight. They want to start fast. Needs to back Barkley up. Iran does not fight well going back. We saw him against Jorge Amparo and others. Can't do it. Barkley got to get inside that long jab of Tommy Hearns. Once he's there, I think the absolute essential item for him is to use the double left hook to the body and the head.
All right, we go to the tail of the tape. Thomas Hearns and Iran Barkley. Hearns a year older. Exactly the same weight, the same height. Hearns with a 4-inch reach advantage. And the WBC rules. No 3 knockdown rule. No standing 8 count. Can only be saved by the bell in the last round. Only the ref can stop it. 3 judges score. 10-point must system. Michael Buffer standing by for the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission and the World Boxing Council. The judges for this contest are Terry Law from Nevada, Oscar Lentune from Mexico, and the referee is Richard Steele from Nevada. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada, Top Rank Incorporated and the King of Beers Budweiser presents the featured bout of the evening. So let's get ready to rumble 12 rounds for the WBC Middleweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing a black trunk with red trim and weighed in at an even 160 pounds. He's from the Big Apple, New York City, New York. As a professional, 24 victories, 4 defeats, 15 KOs, ranked number 2 in the world by the WBC. Introducing the challenger, Iran the Blade Barkley. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the Kronk gold trunks, also weighing an even 160 pounds. As a professional, 45 victories, only 2 defeats, 38 KOs. The only man in boxing history to hold 4 titles in 4 divisions. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Motor City of Detroit, Michigan, the former world welterweight champion, the former world super welterweight champion, the former world light heavyweight champion, and now the WBC middleweight champion of the world, the Hitman, Thomas Hearns.
Well, if that uproar won't psych you up, nothing will. Thomas Hitman Hearns, 45-2, 38 knockouts, and Iran Barkley, the challenger, 24-4, 15 KOs. The traditional front gold colors. Emmanuel Stewart heading things up. He has flatly predicted that Hearns would knock out Barkley within the 2 rounds.
Well, again, watching him train Tommy in the gym, he had Tommy with a lot of lateral movement and a lot of good stiff left jabs.
All right, here we go. Round 1 scheduled for 12. The Hitman with that rare commodity, one-punch knockout power.
Well, he can sure throw that right hand right down the pipe if the opportunity presents itself. No question about that.
25 of his 38 KOs within the first 3 rounds in his illustrious career.
And Barkley is not a very hard guy to hit, but he does take a good punch, and he's a real tough guy.
An extremely physical, sprawling type fighter, almost a throwback to the crowd-pleasing middleweights of the past. Punches and accepts punches at a furious pace. A big left by Hearns. Trying to finish him off early.
I'll tell you, Iran Barkley was able to get one left hand in there, and boy, that's his plan. Can he get through this kind of power to do it, though?
But he has to look at the guy he's fighting.
Yeah.
He's looking at the floor and throwing punches. That's not too healthy.
No.
Hearns with that devastating right and awesome punching power. Best weapon for Barkley, the left hook.
You know, with Tommy Hearns, if I worked with Iran Barkley, I would tell my fighter, if you slip a punch, punch. If you block a punch, punch. Or if he hits you with a punch, try to punch. Because Tommy has one bad fault. He throws beautiful punches, fast hands, power. But a lot of times after he throws a combination or hits you with a punch, he drops his hands and poses, and you can nail him.
And the question is, can Barkley slip the famous right hand of Thomas Hearns and then nail him with his left? The right was blocked. The right by Hearns is blocked.
And you saw Barkley punch back.
I have to tell you, I don't think Tommy Hearns looks as sharp early as we've seen him in recent fights. He's throwing his punches with not the same leverage. He may knock Barkley out, but right now, he's not throwing his punches with the leverage he has in other fights recently.
Well, that's right, because he nailed Barkley, and he didn't knock Barkley off balance, and Barkley was able to wing right back.
Barkley, a real banger, doesn't want a boxer be cute.
All right, and I think Barkley is already cut over the left eye, and that's one of the handicaps that Barkley has, is the fact that Hearns can bust him up, and his eyes have a tendency to swell. So the longer this fight goes, the worse it can be for Iran Barkley, not the better.
That is very interesting, because a lot of people thought the other way around, but now with those cuts, things in Hearns' corner.
Unless, of course, Tommy Hearns' legs do go if this goes to the 5th or 6th round. If they can stop the bleeding of that cut, but that may be a big if.
Final seconds, round one. Iran Barkley, who has the ability to wear his opponents down. We shall see if this fight does go on. We go to the Barkley corner.
They put the stool in, and they were nervous, and Barkley almost missed the stool.
Bad one.
Luckily, they have Eddie Aliano, who is one of the best cut men in boxing, working on that cut.
Right off the bat, Eddie is pressed to the surface.
Keep your hands up, man. How I'm doing, baby? You doing pretty fair, but keep your hands up. Okay? Keep them hands up and keep working the punches now. Right. Settle it down. Don't be trying to reach like a whole lot of movement. There's some more. Okay? Reach and reach. Come on now. Keep your hands up, big fella. I got them up, right? Okay. Yeah, pretty good. Keep your hands up, work with it, see? Okay.
Well, Tommy Hearns has a good right, but don't forget his left hand. There's the hook. Slapped a little bit with it, but it got the attention of Iran Barkley.
Round two scheduled for 12, the WBC Middleweight Championship. Thomas Hitman Hearns in the gold. Iran the Blade Barkley in the black with the red trim. Cut over the left eye of Barkley. There's that right by Thomas Hearns.
Good stiff right hand by Tommy Hearns, but it didn't move Barkley at all.
Hearns with the jab.
That's why I feel that the longer the fight goes, that Barkley's going to swell up and bust up. I think Iran has to let it all hang out and try to nail Tommy early. But Hearns does have that educated left hand and plenty of snap.
And he is so quick. He has really built up his upper body. He's been working out with weights, Tommy Hearns. Came to the weigh-in a pound overweight, but quickly came back and was on target at 160. Wasn't even a pound, actually.
Depending on how he had to lose that weight, it could harm him. Good left hook by Iran Barkley.
Double left hook. And when he goes with the body in the head with that double left, he can be very dangerous. I personally think Barkley's defense a little better than I anticipated it being early in this fight.
Absolutely, but now, Al, he's bleeding from the mouth.
Coming up to a minute remaining, round two. Barkley has to be a bit confident right now, but it could be false optimism.
And Eddie Aliano did a great job on that left eye of Barkley. That's why you need professional help in the corner with these guys.
People forget about Hearns' left hook to the body. It is superb. What it did to James Schuler in one round was amazing, and he's starting to work it against Iran.
And now that cut on Barkley's left eye looks very, very angry again.
Final seconds, round 2. They're yelling right hand from the corner of Hearns. A right cross to finish the round by Thomas Hearns. Will follow Iran Barkley.
Keep them hands, man. You got to go at this guy now. You give him too much respect now.
Right there.
Go in behind the jet. Go in behind the jet.
And here comes Dr. Romeo up in the ring to look at that eye. And Dr. Romeo is a skilled professional. He doesn't panic. He's not going to stop the fight unless it's absolutely necessary.
You got to go in behind the jab and try to get it exchanging. You pick you the piece outside. You can't block with it. Okay? Let's fight the motherfucker. Yeah, go ahead.
Over to Hearns.
Now swallow this one out. Okay. Swallow that. Put a little water inside you, okay? Put it down below. Y'all put it all up there. That's going to be right in here. Okay. Jab is working good, baby. Slip right hand, huh? Slip right hand? Uh-huh. Okay. Jab. Body shots are bothering you, too. You have to catch it if you put them on the face.
And round 3 scheduled for 12. And Barkley comes out, smoking. Hearns retaliates. And this is Barkley's brawling style.
You learned this apparently from watching the tapes of Juan Roldan against Hearns. He's getting very low and getting under the jab in the right hand.
Well, it took one big left hook by Roldan, and if he would have landed another one, it would have been a different result. He had Tommy in real bad trouble.
Well, that whipping left by Hearns just missed Barkley's head.
Well, Olajide hurt Barkley and put him down with a left hook. And sure Tommy saw that in the films, but he has not been able to get his own in as much as he'd like.
And the eye is open again. Barkley's left eye is open. Plenty of time left in the round. A little low.
That one straight to the body by Hearns.
Great body shots by Tommy Hearns.
Well, that's the way he was working in the gym, Al. Good jab, set it up, hook to the body. And there it is again.
Emmanuel Stewart, within inches to our left, loved it.
Those body shots have hurt Iran Barkley very badly.
The crowd sensing something. Hearns continues to go to the body with a left uppercut.
Barkley's punches have slowed up a great deal.
Keep him downstairs, the words from the Hearns corner.
This is very much, I think, like what Tommy Hearns did to James Schuler, because everything in that fight flowed off the left hook to the body, and that's what's happening tonight.
Before that, Al, the 2 punches that I ran through before that. No snap, no steam. All of a sudden, there it was. Goes to show you, in boxing, anything can happen.
And who would think that the right hand would be what Barkley would knock him out with? Not even noted as a right-hand puncher. Look at that man.
Look at the way he's busted up.
He's the winner.
We had mentioned that if it goes long, it's better for Hearns because he would bust Barkley up. Better for Barkley to get him out early, and he did.
Gil, this place is just stunned as Iran Barkley has pulled off the upset. Only 2 other men have done what Iran Barkley has done. Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvelous Marvin Hagler. You can add Iran Barkley to that list. Just a shocking upset by Iran Barkley.
And Tommy still doesn't know where he is, Steve. He's still out.
Oh, did he get rocked by a ferocious right by Barkley?
Well, that's what Barkley was doing. We said he wasn't even looking at his opponent. He was just winging, and he hit lightning in a bottle. Just nailed him.
Hearns just walked right into it.
Let's take a look at that big right hand by Iran. Look at Iran looking at the floor. Now he's got the target. And there it is, just one swinging right hand right on the button. And another one, that's what is known as the coup de grace.
From another angle, Gil.
There it is again. Look at Barkley. Look at the floor. He's up again now. And he just swings. And boy, did he nail him. And look at that second right hand. How Tommy ever got up the first time was a miracle.
On the way down, able to...
Look at those eyes. I mean, he has no idea where he is.
And this is the end of the fight now. Amazing, like you said, Hearns able to get up from that, but now he goes through the ropes.
Well, Richard Steele conceded he's completely helpless and stopped the fight exactly the right time.
Here's the official word, Gil. Michael Buffer in the center of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The time, 2 minutes, 39 seconds of the 3rd round. The winner by knockout victory, and new middleweight champion of the world, Iran the Blade Barkley.
Iran Barkley said he would bring the title back to New York. A lot of people scoffed at that, but he is a man of his word. The man from the Bronx, married with a couple of kids.
You know, Steve, I know Iran Barkley fairly well. I've followed him all through the amateurs. And this man has a lot of depth to him. He's not a shallow person. I knew that he was going to make a really good effort, and he did. He tried, and he got the result.
And Gil, a madhouse in the ring, sheer chaos. Thomas Hearns waving to the crowd. The question is he saying goodbye for the final time? That remains to be seen. This could very well be the end of a great, legendary career. For now, though, a new middleweight champion, Iran Barkley of the Bronx, who was taught to fight by his sister. Now he does all the fighting of the family. Iran Barkley sporting his new WBC championship belt for the first time. How long will he hold on to that belt? Okay, let's go to Wally Matthews in the ring.
Iran Barkley, the new middleweight champion of the world, a shocking 3rd-round KO over Tommy Hearns. Iran, all week you were confident and you felt that you could beat Tommy Hearns. Well, why were you so confident?
Because, Wally, I just felt I knew it was my time. Thanks to the Lord Savior Jesus Christ, he gave me the victory. And look, I want to thank my promoters, Stan Hoffman, HBA, and Bob Arum, and all of them for giving me a shot and opportunity.
And you also want to thank your right hand, because without that, it looks like the fight was over.
I want to thank my right hand, too. But also, I want to thank my trainer, Al, and Victor Machado, for working with me so hard. And all the fellas that work with me, I want to give them Jerry Holly, Vincent Bower.
All right, we'll do that later. Iran, at the point that you landed a knockout punch, you seemed to be in some trouble. You came out as if you knew it was your last chance.
Yeah, well, I thought about a great champion that was a good friend of mine, Davey Moore. And he just whispered in my ear, and he said, Iran, you could do it. I said, Dave, this is for you, baby. For the Bronx. And I pushed on, and I came.
Iran, when you hurt at any time, he certainly did a number on your face.
Oh, man, I was in tremendous shape. You know, he was trying to pick me up and pick me down. But my face is just a powerful thing, man. I just said, Wally, I don't care. I don't have time to bleed. I don't have time to worry. I'm going to win this title.
Was his right hand what you expected it to be?
Yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was, you know. You see, I ain't go nowhere. He hit me with it. Hey, I also want to thank my manager, John Reitz, who's been a heck of a guy that stood behind me 100%.
Okay. Iran Barkley, winner tonight over Thomas Hearns by third-round KO. Now back to ringside.
Yeah, hold your belt up.
All right, thanks, Wally, and let's go back and see how the championship belt changed hands. One more look at round 3 when a new champion was crowned. And round 3 scheduled for 12. And Barkley comes out, smoking. Hearns retaliates. This is Barkley's brawling style.
He learned this apparently from watching the tapes of Juan Roldan against Hearns. He's getting very low and getting under the jab in the right hand.
Well, it took one big left hook by Roldan, and if he would have landed another one, it would have been a different result. He had Tommy in real bad trouble.
Well, that whipping left by Hearns just missed Barkley's head.
Well, Olajide hurt Barkley and put him down with a left hook. And Tommy saw that in the films, but he has not been able to get his own in as much as he'd like.
And the eye is open again. Barkley's left eye is open. Plenty of time left in the round. Little low.
One straight to the body by Hearns.
Great body shots by Tommy Hearns.
Well, that's the way he was working in the gym, Al. Good jab, set it up, hook to the body. And there it is again.
Emmanuel Stewart, within inches to our left, loved it.
Those body shots have hurt Iran Barkley very badly.
The crowd sensing something. Hearns continues to go to the body with a left uppercut.
Barkley's punches have slowed up a great deal.
Keep him downstairs, the words from the Hearns corner.
This is very much, I think, like what Tommy Hearns did to James Schuler, because everything in that fight flowed off the left hook to the body, and that's what's happening tonight.
It's a miracle.
He's on his knees. He gets up. Just before being counted out, he gets up.
Seems to me there was a long count. I don't know.
Can he survive the third round? Wow. Richard Steele steps in. Hearns goes through the ropes.
What a turnaround.
It's over. Iran Barkley has upset Thomas Hearns here in the third round. And he is the new WBC middleweight champion. So the almost disbelieving joy and ecstasy of Iran Barkley, an incredible turn of events, and in stark contrast, the crushing disappointment of Thomas Hearns, who is with Wally Matthews right now.
Tommy, is this one more shocking than the other two?
This is, I guess, it's something that goes on. They always say that, hey, you win the big ones. The big ones are great, but it's hard to get up for the little ones. And for this, I've been through a lot of big fights.
Did you take him too lightly?
No, I did not take him lightly. I never take my opponent lightly. It's
Maybe
just
mentally,
that.
Though?
No. It's just the man was a better man than I was tonight, and I have to give him credit. I cannot take nothing away from Iran Barkley. He came to fight, and exactly what he did.
Did you ever see the punch that he hit you with that knocked you down the first time?
No, I didn't. It was a good punch. And it's something that hey. Main thing that Thomas Hearns have to be is very thankful for what all I have done and accomplished in the boxing game. And I'm happy, I'm proud. I mean, I might have lost tonight. I might have lost, but I still have not lost the war. I lost tonight, I haven't lost the war.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tommy.
So a shocking outcome indeed here as the champion Thomas Hearns is dethroned by Iran Barkley. Your thoughts after this stunner?
Well, I think that Tommy Hearns should seriously think about retiring and retire. He's accomplished everything he can accomplish in boxing. He's a wealthy young man. When he got knocked out the way he got knocked out, he suffered a concussion. And he should think about going into the ring again. Let him sit back and enjoy all that money. Why should he have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and run, go through that rough training routine, have somebody tell him what to eat, what time to go to bed? Tommy, you've had it all. Good luck to you. You were a great champion. Retire.
Iran Barkley lived up to his words before the fight. He said he would bring the title to New York, and he did just that, Al.
He did in his second try at a title, first time failing against Sambu Kalambai. Tonight he did it, and he did it in surprising fashion. If he was going to knock Tommy Hearns out, we all thought it would be with the left hook, not the right hand, but he did get the job done. He's looking ahead at some big paydays, maybe the winner of the Frank Tate-Michael Nunn fight, maybe a rematch with Kalambai, and if Hearns did come back, a rematch with him, but likely he'll be looking elsewhere in the middleweight division. Very big and satisfying win for Iran Barkley.
So that'll do it. A shocking night comes to a close as Iran Barkley shocks Thomas Hearns and he stuns the boxing world. In October of '87, Thomas Hearns made boxing history when he knocked out Juan Roldan for the WBC middleweight title, becoming the only fighter to win a championship in 4 separate weight divisions. Only 7 months ago, he was at the pinnacle of his boxing career. But tonight, Iran Barkley may have turned the lights out on a brilliant career. For Gil Clancy, Al Bernstein, and Wally Matthews, this is Steve Albert saying, so long, everybody. Stay tuned for a look at world champion Evander Holyfield as he begins training for his first fight as a heavyweight. Evander Holyfield moving up next on Showtime.
Tonight, Iran was a better man than I was, and I have to give him the credit. He's a better man, man.
Evander Holyfield.